I've been putting off opening up these Jada Toys Mega Man figures for a while, all based on Mega Man 1, the NES. Usually I just collect the old school kind of toys here, so I was trying not to get involved in this toy line since it's a new release. I guess it was just way too tempting, the idea of getting complete Robot Master like lineups in action figure form for probably my most played original Nintendo games as a child. So I thought we'd open these up, check out what they can do, and see why I was tempted into getting them, and probably going to be collecting them going forward as well. Really hoping for full game like rosters. As we can see on the back of the box, they are pictured, the other bosses that we would need just to complete the first game. Got Elec Man and Cut Man coming soon. Haven't seen anything about Bomb Man and Guts Man though. I hope they don't move on to too many other games for getting to those guys. But I've just kind of been admiring them in their little boxes. But I think we'll open it up and check it out closely here. They come with quite a lot for the price point. Just look at the figure right out of the box. They are smaller than I had thought they were going to be. They looked a little bit bigger in some of the pictures, like they were maybe 6-inch figures, but they're a lot shorter, which makes for better kind of space conservation and kind of fits their little cutesy style. But I think they're trying to do maybe the original artwork kind of appearances. So it's kind of a collector's figure. It has a lot of articulation to it, but still kind of a mass-produced as well. The darker blue of like his boots and gloves and things kind of have a, not sure what you'd call, there's a bit of a fade into them. I don't know if you can see that particularly on certain spots. And on like the back of the helmet, it's not just the solid color, there's something else kind of detailed in here. Did want to check the bottom of the feet, does have the inset detail there. I want to remember that when we open the other bosses, because I think what they're banking on here is that a lot of the bosses just have similar body types to Mega Man, and we can reuse a lot of parts. So he's got pretty good head movement, but we can see right under there the neck is just the gray. It's not like a blue. We didn't paint that part. The nub is blue that the heads that go on, because they do come with alternate heads we can swap out. I mean, funny enough, Mega Man, you could use the head as like a life also. The one up. A lot of movement in the arm joint, the fists, because the hands are interchangeable. They even have a joint for some up and down. It's got like this tank top thing going on here, but there's not really any movement point in that crease, so I'm not sure what that is. A little bit in the torso mid-section turning there, all the way around, and a little bit up and down. Here at the legs, with the tights, we get a dark spot there. It does allow for turning the leg a little bit. The knee actually goes quite a ways, even though he has his big old boot. And the foot has some decent range there, not a ton, but for a tinier figure, a lot of posing can be done with him. Right off the bat, I'm just impressed already with just the lower price. You know, these aren't like hyper expensive kit ones like you would see. A lot of movement for a reasonable price, plus it comes with quite a few options that we can check out. We have kind of an open hand, maybe even a thumbs up for the right hand. Then an open left hand, so he kind of maybe do the jump pose with his hand out. And of course we have the Buster hand, essential there, got the little life bar looking yellow spot and the red dot inside. A whole other head, an angry look. It didn't come with an unhelmeted head, we just have another expression for that. I think they're going to release a helmetless figure again later. I'll also say they're going to start doing the alternate colors and stuff, like all the weapons. I couldn't imagine having like all his different color combos for weapons. I mean, that would make a great collection just in of itself. But dang, that's a lot of space for just alternate color Mega Man, so I'm not sure about those right now for me. But then even kind of like display design piece here with this base and this arm, because we have a little shot here. And you could say this is just a regular shot, even though it's pretty detailed up. Or you could say it's a charge shot. It's a little small. I would think later we might get a bigger charge shot kind of based on different games, you know, from the different shapes, like different shape in Mega Man 4 versus Mega Man 5 and stuff like that. I'd almost just call this as regular shot. Clear yellow, a little flamey there. Looks like it would be delicious. It's disguised pretty well. I almost didn't see where the hole was. If you look very closely here, we do have a little hole for a peg of this little arm. Dang, they have like a double joint. That's pretty sweet. And the stand. That's going to be very adjustable for any kind of things that will fit in this. So you can kind of pose his shot to be the right height with whatever pose you're going to put him in, maybe shooting. Movement on this is super awesome. It's really nice and clear. And this is like an advanced collector looking thing to come with these. So the hands, you'd have to pull the little fist out. I would imagine for the cannon, you'd have to pull this bit out too. Again, some of these, I like that you can switch them, but I kind of fear doing it a lot because they're just such little tabs and things that make that happen. I'm also looking at this like, is it really meant to be maybe left hand? More so since the bar is usually on the outside, I thought, of the arm cannon. So technically you can use this on either side, but that's going to be, you know, dependent on which side that yellow bit's going to be. It's also going to get a little confusing with the little arm bits if you're going to take them off for the cannon. You know, not giant amounts of sets of hands, but some options to jump around. So you can get a lot of classic Mega Man poses, or just make some exciting and fierce ones that you wouldn't really see in the old games. So Mega Man right out of the box, like, very impressive one, worth just getting just Mega Man if you're not going to get all the bosses and other characters. This is like an amazing figure I'd want to just keep near my desk while editing videos just to play with, because Mega Man was like, he was Nintendo just as much as Mario back then to me, because I didn't know about all the different companies and things licensing their games to play on the Nintendo system. He was like a mainstay character, and I had so many of the games. Yeah, there's going to be flaws here and there, but these are not like bank-breakingly expensive figures either. They're just a little bit on the back, but got all the colors. The face looks really cool. He's got the even outline looking really nice on him. Like an excellent classic Mega Man figure. But we'll look at some of the other bosses. We can compare parts, see what parts are new for just these, and see which ones maybe are from Mega Man himself. Could be interesting. Same display stand for his power shot. Taking a look at Iceman here. I just wanted to see about the feet, that I think they are kind of the same boot and foot, and we have that red, like almost like they're going to have rocket boots or something. But there's a nice way to reuse some bits, and I think maybe the fists and stuff are the same for Iceman, but different torso. Of course the head completely different. But inside some of those like reusing parts, you know, to kind of save cost and tooling and all that, we have something like this where they've gone out of the way for a detail of his little kind of like ice generating pack on his back that's barely ever seen in any artwork, and certainly not really seen in the game on the sprite. They've gone out of their way. Even the detail on the back of the hood, a piece with like, could have just been a solid piece to make it easier, and they didn't even do that. They like went above and beyond with these little bits here. So I can't really call them lazy at all. These are like amazing for the price point they've been able to make. So Iceman with his wide-eyed look straight out of the game and the original artwork. Coming with fairly similar hands here from Mega Man. The open hand here. A little bit different hand here. No cannon arm, of course. That's just kind of Mega Man's thing. But the same really nice double joint stand for his like ice slasher effect, which they didn't go very cartoony with these. They went kind of like realistic with them, but it does have that kind of like multi-layer to it. They look pretty great. I always love clear plastic stuff like this anyway. Another head, got an angry expression for him. That's what'll be great about these, that we can just kind of swap out some more expressive heads if you want. Wonder if I could make a little board and make kind of a boss selection grid with the other heads, so you could kind of swap them out. That'd be kind of fun. I mean, aside from coming with a stand for the figure itself to prop him up, so he'd kind of be doing his jump shot, shooting the ice. I mean, we still have the effect stand. We could have Mega Man shooting the ice slasher, or Iceman himself. Always looked like he was spitting them out of his mouth in the game. But really expressive, and I love just like, okay, they did the unique torso for him, so they went all out with all the detail of him. Iceman probably going to look better instead of the fist with some of those open hands. But he does kind of do his little fist gesture at the start of a fight too. A lot of great options, and the same articulation. It goes pretty far for what it is, and I mean, not affected too much by the head too, because he can do quite a bit of down and up looking. I do like the smaller stature for these. They just fit their style better too. Let's get to Fireman so we can talk about all of them together. A lot of the same parts we can see. Here they're going with like the cannon arm look for Fireman. Not always clear in the pixels of the old games. Even I think the 8-bit look, who's more like white instead of gray, but they've kind of went with the gray for the look and maybe the original artwork of the character instead of just the actual game appearance. But he's got his fire spewing head, makes him really tall compared to the other ones. And Fireman has like all these flame effects. The one in his head here, this flame, these are all gonna have the same peg. Here's like a little bit motion one if he's like running. Just a different flame here, like a little taller maybe. So any of these could go into the head for just a different look. And then the shot one, which is a little tall to do kind of his like wave looking effect from the game. This one just designed to have the stand for him to shoot. We can have that going. But since he has the two hands, two of the effects can go into his hand shooting the fire. And you can choose one for on top of the head, although I guess the side one doesn't really go down in there very well. So that one might be more for the hands. Maybe meant to be the one shooting the shot there since it's kind of flaming up. But again, there's options here. And he comes with 4 effects. Mega Man and Iceman just had their one shot. So a lot more stuff with Fireman here. And the alternate head with like the angry look where it's like the eyebrows down, but it's like all of the metal goes down, like that's part of his eyebrow. Pretty distinct different looks. You can have like angry Fireman or just kind of this like normal appearance here. And the gray of the neck benefiting him since gray is just part of his normal color. So he does have like the unique torso, but then he has these shoulder pieces and then these are unique cannons for him too. Again, on the back that we've added just like details you didn't normally see since these are based off of just like artwork, maybe from the manual or other places instead of just the actual pixels of the game. You wouldn't see the back at all. Just extra, and then extra color even, a little bit of green. So I'm not disappointed with these at all. I love the size. They have tons of movement for their tiny size too. I was holding off if I could just get the other set and kind of do them all at once, but it's taking quite a while, so I thought I better just get these going and then so I can find a good shelf to display all my Mega Man stuff. Fireman's weakness, of course, is laser lasso. Shout out to anybody that gets that reference. Spoiler, there will probably be none. Originally, I was just going to stick with my old 90s figures since that's typically what I collect and show here. But since that was such a limited line with only a few bosses and characters, it was just too tempting to get these new ones because it could be a bright future with a lot of different characters and stuff. Again, I always like to get toys that if I handed them to my younger self, that it would just be like the coolest thing ever because I played with my old Mega Man figures a ton. But if I would have had this that looked a lot more like the game instead of like the older cartoon show, I would have absolutely loved it. Plus all this movement would have been really exciting to have as a kid just for that much more imagination. I love to play the games, but I love to just go and play with my toys and stuff and do my own kind of scenarios and stuff too. So again, with a time machine, these would have just been like the greatest thing I could have ever owned outside of just the actual game cartridges. There's been tons of other Mega Man figures and stuff, but I feel like for what these are and the price that I could really get into these, and when you really think about all the bosses and all the like 6 Mega Man games, even though there's far more, you just go NES only. It's gonna be a lot, but we'll see how they do here. Maybe it's slow enough, it won't be so bad. But hopefully we'll see a lot more of these as they come out. Typically I open kind of older toys and things that I had already or am collecting now that I'm able to find them. But occasionally there's a retro kind of line new that I just can't say no to, and these Mega Man figures are definitely it.